Very much for this inspiring talk, very interesting. Thank you. I would like to give the floor now to Dr. Haji Saahil and giving his presentation, please. I think you can do that. You have 10 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum. Professor Sir here has taken us through the history of fiat currency, and throughout his talk he used a word called riba. Today at the World Halal Forum, in this conference, in the morning session we were talking about halal and tayyib. And the important thing, the people we were just talking about was halal, slaughter of meat, packing and logistics, and issues on those grounds. Now, riba is a haram against which Allah has declared war on anyone who does not give it up. 1971, the year I was born, was the year President Nixon cancelled the gold standard or the gold-backed dollar. From 1971 till today, 40 years, we have been living in a total fiat-backed currency model. Now, when you look at the fiat currency, it comes into existence by a contract of riba. The government, treasury, will tell the mint, I'll give you a treasury bond. Against this treasury bond, please make $1 million or $1 billion. The treasury bond simply says that I promise to pay X amount of percent interest for this currency in the future day. Riba. It's simple. So when you take your currency, which is born, the fiat currency, which is born out of a contract of riba, and then use the concept of halal and tayyib, and then look at the Quran and Allah says, stop this riba multiplying because this is haram, and then we use it for any transaction forward. What are we doing? Then the scholars of Islam find this problem, right? Because if riba is haram, the currency which was born from the contract of riba is also haram, how can we Muslims use it? It should be haram for us. But then Islam as a religion was meant to be easy for us. It wasn't meant to be putting problems on us. So the learned scholars in 1971, immediately after the gold-backed dollar, the dollar was stopped being backed by gold, had this problem. And they had no solution, right? So they used the concept of darura. They said, this is necessity, because now without this, tomorrow people cannot go buy their provisions, they can't live, they cannot function as a society. So in a state of darura, we will allow this fiat currency to function. It's simple. Darura is a mercy from Allah. Allah also commands us to eat pork if we are going to die. Our only purpose in life was to worship Allah. And Allah says, if you are going to be dying of hunger in a desert and the only meal available to you is pork, He commands you to consume pork so that you can survive, to continue worshipping Him. At that point of time, a Muslim saying, Ya Allah, pork is haram, you told me once, so I'm not going to eat pork, would be contradicting the command of Allah. So let's use this darura as a mercy from Allah, and it's been 40 years. Are we still in a state of darura? We had been forced with this fiat currency on our heads As Muslims, we cannot accept it. But as Muslims, what did we do to bring back our currency? New money? No. Gold and silver as money are more than 5,000 years old. In fact, even before Rasulullah Sallam got his prophethood, gold and silver were being used as money. Roman coins, Persian coins, the dinar is a Roman name. But when Rasulullah Sallam got his prophethood, he got the Quran, he looked at the money running in the market. There were gold, silver, wheat, barley, dates, salt. He saw that the money was functioning perfectly well as money. He had a problem with riba. He banned and prohibited riba and let the money flow. He actually, when some people came and asked him, Ya Rasulullah, this coin has a Roman king's figure on it. He said, let it pass because it is functioning as money. It is Khalifa Umar who put in the standards of the gold dinar and the silver dirham. Why? Because by that time, the Muslim nation, from a small group of people, had conquered the two superpowers, the Romans and the Persians. And to give the strength to the Muslim nation, the Islamic dinar and dirham standards were minted. At the end, 1924, with the fall of the Khalifa, this currency was made to disappear. Now please think, if one side you have the option of being paid in gold and silver, and the other side you have the option of being paid in fiat currency, paper, dollar, pound, whatever. Everyone by nature will go and say, please pay me in gold and silver. That is why when the Caliphate was dropped, the gold and silver, the Caliphate, Islamic currency was made to disappear so that the fiat currency of riba can circulate. Our scholars at that point of time, let us use the fiat currency as a state of darura. In a state of darura, the haram does not become halal. It has just been given a temporary relief. Now, what have we done? We have taken, in the state of darura, we were taking fiat money, and then we used that fiat money to create something called Islamic banking, and then we messed up the whole cycle. State of war, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, state of war against Allah. And when Allah says, I will fight against the people who don't give up riba, you're seeing the biggest financial institutions, the biggest currencies, all going down in a meltdown. Who do you think? Who do you think is winning this war? It is not about gold and silver. We are manufacturing gold and we want to give this. It's about our akhirah. If we are going to be disobedient to Allah and we are interested, mashallah, we are interested. That is why we are sitting in this World Halal Forum trying to learn about halal and haram so that we can live our lives as Muslims. But we have been brainwashed. We have forgotten the basics. We have forgotten our Quran and our Sunnah. And the only way to go back to the straight path is to go back to the commands of the Quran and Sunnah. The dinar and dirham are mentioned in the Quran and in the Sunnah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Haji Saahil, for this impressive reminder on this issue. And I would like to ask